Hello friends, in this video we are going to learn about nasopharyngeal angiofibroma. So this angiofibroma is the benign tumor which is locally aggressive, and this is the commonest of all the benign tumors of the nasopharynx, okay? And this is most commonly in male population as compared to females, and in the adolescent males, that is in the second decade of life, and hence testosterone plays an important role in occurrence of this tumor, okay? So the most common site of origin of this tumor is sphenopalatine foramen, and the most common clinical features with which it appears is recurrent spontaneous epistaxis with unilateral nasal obstruction, okay? The next is other clinical features are frog face deformity. So this angiofibroma spreads to orbits and leads to proptosis, and this leads to the appearance of frog face deformity, okay? Then rhinolalia clausa, this is because of the mass which is present in the postnasal space, and this gives rise to nasal obstruction and denasal speech, that is called as rhinolalia clausa, okay? The next is epistaxis, that is profuse, recurrent and spontaneous epistaxis. It is the most common presentation of angiofibroma, and because of the recurrent and spontaneous epistaxis, the patient may have anemia, okay? Then conductive hearing loss and otitis media with effusion, that is because of eustachian tube obstruction, okay? Then the investigations and treatment. So biopsy is contraindicated because this is highly vascular tumor and lack of contractile component. So this, because of lack of contractile component, epinephrine also can't be used to control the bleeding because this tumor doesn't have muscle coat, okay? It has only vascular and fibrous tissue. Then investigations, the CECT, that is contrast enhanced CT scan, is the investigation of choice, which shows Holman-Miller, or it is also called as antral sign. So what is this antral sign? It is nothing but anterior bowing, okay? So anterior bowing of posterior wall of maxillary sinus. So here, this is the maxillary sinus, this is the normal part, and here is the posterior wall is bowing forward. So that is anterior bowing of the posterior wall of maxillary sinus or antrum. So this is Holman-Miller sign, okay? Or it is also called as antral sign. Then treatment, surgery is the mainstay of treatment or treatment of choice, and if surgery is contraindicated, then chemotherapy can be used, okay? But in case of intracranial extension, radiotherapy is the treatment of choice, okay? And in case of recurrence after surgical removal, radiotherapy is used, okay, as a treatment of choice, and recurrence is 35%, okay? The next is staging of the juvenile nasopharyngeal angiofibroma, and the staging is according to modified Sessions et al. Staging. So it is staged into 3 stages, 1, 2 and 3. So stage 1A is limited to the nose or nasopharyngeal vault, okay? Then stage 1B is extension into one or more than one paranasal sinuses. 2A is minimal extension into the pterygopalatine fossa, okay? And stage 2B is full occupation of the pterygopalatine fossa, that is full occupation, and along with orbital bones involvement. So orbital bone involvement may or may not be present, but there is full occupation of the pterygopalatine fossa. Then 2C is infratemporal fossa involvement, okay? So this is with or without involvement of the cheeks and posterior to the pterygoid plates. So it may pass posterior to the pterygoid plates, okay? Then third A is the erosion of skull base. So this is the minimal intracranial involvement, and stage 3B is the erosion of the skull base, but here it is extensive intracranial involvement, and cavernous sinus may or may not be involved, okay? So that is 3B. Now treatment based on staging. So stage 1 and 2, that is where cranial involvement is not there, so surgery is the mainstay of treatment, and if surgery is contraindicated, we can use chemotherapy, okay? And for stage 3, as the cranial involvement is present, radiotherapy is the mainstay of treatment. So this was all about the angiofibroma. Thank you so much.